Congress says, Gary, answer the question. Answer the question, Gary. Question everything. Trust nothing. Welcome to Debate Crypto. Your boy Crypto Keeper here on what's today? Today is a Wednesday. We used to have What If Wednesday. Now it's just Wednesday. But we have got exciting news in the crypto space. If you haven't been paying attention, we're going to talk about this later towards the end of the stream. Gary Gensler is under attack, and I love it. I have got 3 videos to show you guys that have the Congress putting the screws to Gary Gensler. So drop a 1 in the chat if you're excited to see Gary Gensler squirming in his chair. Welcome, everybody. Thank you guys for being here as always. Again, just a reminder, we just passed 10K subs yesterday. I think we're at like 10,023 or something like that. So we appreciate the continued support. We're going to continue to put out new and improved content. And as a reminder, I'll probably mention this a couple times during the stream, but let me tell the first people here, since you guys are always first, and I'll mention you here in a minute. But the trading competition, Trading Wars, is coming up soon, and we have a little bit of an edit that we're going to do to kind of even the playing field a little bit. So I'll tell you guys now, and then I'll mention it later on the stream. So we talked about the chat being able to compete against the traders. Okay, that's all good and well. Ultimately, we have professional traders that are working together as a team. You would think statistically that they would be able to outperform the chat. So we want to make this a little bit of an even playing field. Chat, we're going to let you trade however much you want at whatever times you want. You don't have to trade within that same 1 hour time period. If you want to, great, do it. But we're going to allow you for the entire season, for the entire month, to trade as much as you want, whatever time frames. We also don't know your schedules, right? As we started to talk about it, I said, I want as many people to be able to compete and have the opportunity to win this money as possible. We don't know what everybody's schedule is. So we're going to let you guys trade whenever, however you want, as much or as little leverage. Obviously, be safe out there. But yeah, we're going to give you guys the opportunity to beat some of these traders. We figured that might even the playing field a little bit. Most people are just trading by themselves. And these guys have been doing this for a long time. So we would hope to see some really good returns, even though we're totally pressing them on the format at which we're doing it. So chat, smash the like if you haven't already. Let's see who was first in here. Speaking of the chat, we have Green Day Profits. I'm telling you, this man lives to be the first comment. Green Day Profits. What's up, brother? Said, first thing I do is smash the like every time. LFG. Y'all know what that means. Good to see you, bro. Burke in the house. Patriot Caveman. Who else is up in here? We got Darren Does Things. Darren is always doing things. And today it looks like he's smashing the like button. So we appreciate that. And then Crypto Al in the house says, wow, I think we're going to have to diagnose Bitcoin with Down syndrome or something. I actually normally am like really quick on the uptake. You might have to explain this one to me, Gary, or to Gary. I'm so stuck on the Gary Gensler news. Crypto Al, tell me why in the chat we are diagnosing Bitcoin with Down syndrome. I'm sure I'm going to get a good laugh, or I'm just being incredibly dense right now and not following with you. But we appreciate you for being here as well. Did I miss anybody? Let me scroll down. Crypto Stevo, Patrick Leichman, and the beautiful Jessica in the house around the blockchain says, good morning, folks. ATB was popping. Is it still the morning? That's the afternoon, but we'll give it to you. Whoever is behind the scenes there. We love you guys. Candy Daddy in the house as well. All right, cool. So that's the chat. As always, make sure to hit the bell notification. Make sure you subscribe. And as we get closer and closer to Trading Wars, ladies and gentlemen, make sure that you are signed up. We're going to announce the exchange. The exchange, candidly, is sending over some money to us to sponsor the show, to pay the traders, to do all the things that need to happen on the back end. That's happening right now. So we should be able to announce the platforms that you guys can get signed up under our link. And you do have to be signed up under our link to be able to compete, just to let you guys know. But we'll be sending that out probably in the next couple of days. I think it's going to take 2 or 3 days for their financial department to do what they need to do. All right, cool. Let's check out the markets. Let's start there. As always, the global crypto market cap is at 1.04 trillion with a T dollars. That is down 0.51%. Bitcoin, 26,258, up about 0.34%. We're going to the moon. It's on the way, baby. It's green. ETH under 1,600 bucks. I'm going to tell you, because my ETH holdings are so large. Well, hold on. Let me not say it like that. That sounds like really, no. What I mean is that because ETH is such a large portion of my portfolio, I always know when ETH isn't, at a certain threshold, let's just say, because it literally magnifies on the size of my portfolio. I can definitely tell just by peeking at my whole portfolio. I can tell where Bitcoin's at and I can tell where ETH's at for sure. BNB at 211, XRP 50 cents, baby. Come on, $5. Let's get there. Cardano's at 24 cents. Definitely want to see that pump as well. Dogecoin, something that I've been talking about getting into because I do believe that Elon Musk is going to be using it on the X platform before too long. That's something that I'm probably going to be getting into. Solana, you'll never see me buy. And then Tron, TRX, jumping in the top 10. I think it was yesterday or the day before, past Toncoin. That's at 8.5 cents. It's up just a hair. All right. So that is the top 10 in the crypto space. Candle Daddy in the house. Good to see you, brother. I see you jumped in there. Did I get the answer to my Down syndrome question? Am I going to get in trouble for saying Down syndrome on here? I don't know. Are you guys about to get me in trouble? Crypto Al, I need the explanation, bro. I need the explanation, and I don't see it at all. Patriot Caveman, I'll check the DM. Oh, that's why I haven't been seeing them, bro. Speaking of Caveman, bro, I thought that you hadn't sent them. This is a lack of communication from me and Crusader, obviously, because I think he's talked to you. I thought you were sending them on Debate Crypto, on the Debate Crypto Twitter. If you're sending them on the Danger Close, I just got to flip it over to that. I've got access to that. Don't worry. I'll check that. I'll make sure to do that. All right, cool. Let's get into it. Let's start it off. I've got an interesting one to start. This has been something that Crusader and I have talked about over time, about some of these criminals that are able to make money in a somewhat of a legal fashion. Let's talk about it. Mixin Network offers hacker $20 million quote bug bounty in on-chain message. All right, let's see what this is about. Mixin Network recently hacked for a reported $200 million, has offered the exploiter a $20 million bug bounty reward to return the stolen funds. Mixin suspended deposits and withdrawals over the weekend following the attack, with just half the user's assets safe, but now says the losses were not as significant as estimated. Okay, that's good. Cross-chain service Mixin Network offered the attacker who exploited the platform for $200 million, $20 million bug bounty for the return of the user's funds. It says most of our platform assets were users, and we hope you can refund them. You can keep $20 million of the assets as a bug bounty reward for the bug. Contact us via blah, blah for reward details. Mixin wrote in an on-chain message as flagged by blockchain security firm PeckShield. However, in an updated post on X, Mixin said the losses were not as significant as estimated. We have completed most of the asset tally work, and the situation is much more optimistic than expected. The losses are not as significant as estimated. Again, we remind everyone to avoid making transactions, market making, etc. on Mixin Network for now to prevent unnecessary losses. Okay, here's where I think this gets interesting, right? You have somebody that effectively exploits that exploits a network. They steal $200 million, okay? I don't know on the back end how any of this gets dispersed, whether they're using something like Tornado Cash combined with a VPN, combined with all these other slick ways to be able to move funds around to be able to get, clean assets or not. I don't know how that works. Okay. Unfortunately, nobody's offering me 20 million for anything. Right. So work on that, chat. If you got somebody who wants to give me 20 million, I'm in. I'll do it. So I think it gets interesting because this person commits a crime, right? So I think the bug bounties make a ton of sense on the front end, right? Because on the front end, they're actively searching for, they find something, they reach out to them and say, hey, I found an exploit. I'm going to give it to you. Pay me. Boom, bam, slam. They set up a smart contract and it gets paid. They share the exploit, blah, 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 however that works. Well, that's a legal transaction. That's a company saying, hey, show us where we are vulnerable and we will pay you to do so. With something like this, they've already stole the 200 million. So I just kind of thinking in the mind of what I would believe a criminal would think in this regard. They're probably thinking, wait a minute, I just stole 200 million. right? Let's say that they did have problems moving it around and they're like, well, what am I going to do? Well, I would just assume that they might not trust totally what the service is saying because they committed a crime on the front end. So they might think that even though they're offering the 20 million, they might even let them keep the 20 million, right? Well, I say let them. The person's going to have to send it back anyway if they decide to take this. But are they working with, let's just say, the feds in the background? Do they have a game plan to allow this person to keep 20 million? It takes the person kind of off to where they don't feel stressed anymore. And then they're like, gotcha, bitch, right? Where they just jump in and renege on their word effectively and say, well, you stole from us. Now we're getting you. So I could definitely see that. I'm not a fan of the thievery, right? Actually, Patriot Caveman, I just saw this right now. It says, I hate thieves. And yeah, so do I. So I like it from the standpoint of doing it on the front end. I don't like it on the back end. And I could see a criminal saying, screw you, I was smart enough to get it. I'm keeping all 200 million. I could also see them saying, you're not going to get me. I know the feds are and could be all sorts of paranoid. Even if that's not what was happening, I could see thinking like, am I going to get myself in more trouble by effectively trying to help myself and them in a situation like this? Burke says Houdini swap works good. Burke, Houdini swap, actually, you don't want to let the cat out of the bag, but that's somebody that we are in contact with. They might be at some point a sponsor on the channel. We have some close connections with Houdini swap. We really like what they're doing over there. And you know us, we like privacy. It has nothing to do with being a criminal. You're allowed to be private. You're allowed to keep your financial information safe. And everybody doesn't need to know what everybody's doing, right? I know that there's no other options out there. Somebody said Thor swap. Crypto Stevo said Thor swap. I think there's a bunch of different options, for them to move some of these funds around. The reality is, folks, don't commit crimes. If you want a bug bounty, find the bug, reach out to the company and say, hey, I'm going to get you. But instead of getting you and committing a crime, pay me. Do it on the front end. Do it right. Crunksy says, let me read this. Those hackers get paid and then hired by three-letter government agencies or SBF characters to go after larger players or targets. That's an interesting idea. So what? The idea is that the CIA, effectively, as an example of a three-letter government agency, would get with a hacker and say, hey, hit one of these large targets. Are you saying that they're doing it to hurt the platform because it's effectively competing in some ways against the US dollar? Gary Gensler sure thinks that it is, because wait until you see these videos coming up. If you haven't seen these already, they press hard on him, and it is him just trying to cover for his banking buddies. So I could definitely see that. I could see them saying, well, let's kind of maybe hurt a few of these companies and let them feel some pain, and we'll protect you. We'll keep you safe. We're the government. We're here to help. Yeah, we've all heard that one before. Question everything, trust nothing. Hey, make sure to smash that like if you haven't already. It's a Wednesday afternoon. You guys are hanging out with me. Hey, Crusader, by the way, wants to throw out his love to everybody. He is currently at an event. And I know this, we should probably all take a moment of silence. This is the one time, probably the one time, where Crusader's traveling and Keeper is not. Keeper's holding down the fort. Crusader is out. I'll just say it like he does. Crusader's out partying right now, right? He's always busting my balls that I'm out, vacationing and partying. Well, Crusader, I love you, bro. And have fun partying, because we all know that's what you're doing. Now, he's out there doing business for us, and excited about what that's got going on. I forget exactly which event it is, but it is down in Florida. It's maybe 45 minutes or an hour from his house. So he's out there, like I said, doing business, like he says when I'm doing it. Punk. All right. Next up, let's talk about it. Hong Kong tokenization of stocks is weighing in on that. Let's talk about it. Hong Kong to issue guidance on tokenizing stocks in the near term. Christina Choi, an official of Hong Kong's Securities and Futures Commission, Said the regulator is working on more detailed guidance on the tokenization of authorized investment products. Hong Kong will issue guidance on tokenization of these products in the near term, a financial official said. The executive director of investment products, that's Christina Choi, said in a speech on Tuesday that the SFC is working on such guidance. She said, "Our current thinking is that in principle, primary dealing of tokenized SFC authorized products will be more appropriate to be allowed first at this stage in view of the nascent state of the development of the virtual asset services platforms regime in Hong Kong." Let's talk about why there's some risks involved. It says tokenization could certainly bring new risks as well as legal, regulatory, and supervisory issues with the use of new technology. Secondary trading of tokenized SFC authorized products on VATPs would warrant more caution and careful consideration. It says secondary trading would effectively make a tokenized product an exchange traded product. Remember that, okay? She said, in this case, the VATP would function like a conventional stock exchange that facilitates secondary trading of securities and other products offered to the Hong Kong public, with the only key difference being that it's represented as a token rather than a stock. All right, chat. Do you see the value in tokenizing the stock market? I see a number of different things that could be valuable in this manner. The biggest thing being, and this is really what I want to touch on, I think that we're going to see the stock market tokenize. What do I mean by that? I think the stock market's going to go on the blockchain. And this could have some interesting consequences that come along with it. Okay. Let me give you an example. There is a lot that happens with some of these big firms that are effectively trying to wash each other out. They're trading against each other. They're making moves unbeknownst to one or the other. They have to react, whatever. Right. And they basically, all that they're seeing, to my understanding, is fluctuations in volume and price. Well, the cool thing is you put this on the blockchain. Now you start to tie some wallets together. Because they're not going to just be able to do new wallets all the time. Like, it would be a cluster. They wouldn't be able to continue to do that. Now they're going to be able to look and see what firm is doing what with what kind of money at what time. Do we see patterns forming? Do we see things that they like to do, don't like to do? This will all be just laid out on a little platter for these institutions to be able to see what each other are doing. Now, could that have negative impacts on the market? Sure, it could, absolutely. Because once they start to figure out, maybe some of the moves of the other players, they could start acting accordingly. But they're already doing that, right? This just makes it more transparent. And I like that, because a lot of the moves that are made on the stock market right now are these dinner parties that are happening that give them information, and then they make a move and they don't have to tell anybody for a certain number of days or blah, blah, blah. No, it's just going to be there. If we can tie because they're going to have to KYC all these people. So they tie these people to their KYC wallets of the tokenized asset, and boom, they're going to be able to fish and sniff out all of these transactions. So I think it would be really, really interesting to see. So Crunk C said, yeah, short and longing 24 hours, 24/7 trading. Yep, I agree. At least part of the stock market will go on a blockchain. The 24/7 trading is the other part of what I was going to say. We put this on the blockchain. We don't need 9 to 4:30, right? Like, why, right? We can trade 24/7, which could also carry into, even in the crypto markets, the weekends, they're kind of slow, right? They're just kind of wah. Well, a lot of it is there's no institutional trading. Most of the players in, our situation are not actively making large enough moves as individuals to be able to push any of these markets around. So yeah, you'll see things pop here and there on the weekend, or some big news will come out, or something will happen. But generally, the weekends are pretty slow. The stock market then goes 24/7, 365. And we might see some really interesting things happen. So smash the like if you like the idea of tokenizing the stock market. Smash the like if you hate the idea of tokenizing the stock market. Either way, smash that like. It's free after all. Just X out of the live chat if you're on mobile, and then boom, hit the like, and you can come right back into the chat. And if you haven't already, drop on the bell notification. Reminder, we're 20 minutes into the show. Trading wars coming up. To make it really simple, 2 teams of 5. You got my team, you got Crusaders team. Biggest names in trading, biggest names in crypto on our teams. Going to be live trading, forced to trade within a 1-hour time period, 3 to 4 p.m. on Trading Wars here at Debate Crypto. We are super freaking excited about it. It's going to start, I think, on October. Let me tell you the date. Let me look. It is, because we just figured this out. It is, I get back on the, looks like October 5th, 16th. That is a couple Mondays from now, 2-3 Mondays from now. We're going to be promoting between now and then, but that's when it's going to start. So pay attention for that to start. We will announce the exchange. Again, like we said, we're just taking money, waiting for some money to change hands. But that being said, you guys are going to be able to trade 24/7 during that 1 month period to try to beat these teams of traders. So I just want to throw that out there. That is a change that we are making to kind of even the playing field for everybody. You guys can obviously trade during live when the other guys are. If you want to follow some of their trade, hey, whatever you really like one of their trades and you want to crank up the leverage on, hey, do your thing, be safe, be smart. We want everybody to have fun with this. I want you guys to win money. I want to see the traders win money. I mean, we are super freaking excited about this. We keep talking about it, and I know you guys are probably going to get tired about it, but we really want to promote this. We want this to do well. We want this to be the newest, biggest, best, most fun show in crypto. And the fun thing will be myself, if it's my team of 5 on, as I'm coaching my team, right? You'll have Crusader on there. We'll be most likely heckling my team. So we'll be going back and forth, talking some trash, looking at why the trades are happening, who agrees with who, are the teams going to work together, not together, whatever. We'll be able to, we'll figure that out as we go. It's going to be a lot of fun. All right, cool. Moving on. Let's talk about Shiba Inu. I know that's everybody wanted to know. They're like, what's going on with Shiba? Well, last market anyway. When's it going to be at a penny? It's not. It's not going to a penny. But what a surprise. Almost 90% of SHIB investors are holding a losing position. Wah, wah. In the last 7 days, the cryptocurrency market managed to remain relatively stagnant and sustain its market cap above 1 trillion, which can be seen as a positive sign as the market prepares for the next move. However, not many positive outcomes are in sight for some of the crypto assets, such as Shiba Inu. The number of Shiba Inu investors that are holding a losing position that has increased in the last 20 days, going from 82% of SHIB holders in the red to 88% of addresses are, quote, out of the money. This is what data retrieved from Finbold on September 27th from the Into the Block app reveals. While considering the Shiba Inu token's price at the time of each crypto wallet address received it, in comparison to current prices in the spot market. According to the app, only 9%, listen to this, guys, ladies and gentlemen, 9% of all SHIB investors are holding a profitable position, while 3% acquired their tokens at the same price by the time of publication. Now, I talked a lot of trash about SHIB this last, cycle. Do I think that you can make money with these meme coins? Yes, I've done it, and I've made good money on some of these, right? Is Shiba moving its way into being a mainstream token asset? Yes, it's definitely, it's got over $1 billion market cap, I believe. Let me actually, I'm almost positive it does. It's multiple billions. Yeah, $4.25 billion. So it's the real deal as it relates to, tokens. People just have to agree that it has value and that value can be exchanged, and boom, right? So it can absolutely work. And there's different platforms. We saw yesterday HSBC is now taking it for mortgage payments. Yeah, you heard that right. They're taking Shiba and XRP on mortgage payments. We talked about that. Yesterday. But all of that just to say, we're not in a bull market right now. Okay. Think about how big you would think that the news of an asset like Shiba being taken by a bank for your mortgage. That's big news, right? What did SHIB do? Well, let me double check yesterday. In the last 24 hours, it's down 0.28%. It's down almost 2% on the week. You would think that news like that would help to pump such a, that information would help to prop up an asset like SHIB. But like I said, we're not in the bull market right now. People are just sitting on these tokens, waiting for them to do something. And it's going to take some big news. It's going to take a big move in the markets. It's going to take a Bitcoin halving. It's going to take maybe the election cycle. There's a whole lot of things that are going to have to happen for these markets to really explode again. And one of them could be happening sooner than later. We're going to be talking about Gary Gensler and the spot ETFs here in a few minutes. So stick around. If you came for that, I'm telling you, you won't be disappointed. I've got some hot takes on this and some really good videos. So stick around for the Gary Gensler stuff. What's the moral of the story with Shiba? It's the same thing as almost any other crypto asset. Okay. The people that got in early are the people that are in the money. Okay. Most people, I was talking to somebody yesterday, I believe. I was talking about, yeah, my neighbor lost a ton of money on crypto. Yeah, I'll bet he did. And I'll bet he did something stupid or irresponsible. Now, why do I say that? I'm not saying that anybody in here that's lost money is stupid or irresponsible. What I'm trying to say is, as a general rule, people get FOMO. They refuse to listen to the idea, or they aren't educated enough to understand the idea that these things fluctuate heavily. And when they are red hot and you're buying green candles, you're buying the wrong time. You buy when things suck. You buy when things are scary. I'm not here for financial advice. I'm just telling you what's worked for me. The COVID crash, you've heard me say it 100 times. Best period of time I ever consistently bought, and I tried to load up during that time on Bitcoin and Ethereum specifically. Best thing I ever did. Best. Also, scariest, because it doesn't feel good when everybody's talking about how the market's crashing and how everybody should be scared and run. And they're telling you all these things. Listen, the fundamental idea, the ethos behind Bitcoin and Ethereum did not and does not change with a bull or a bear market. So when we talk about something as simple as dollar cost averaging, even if it's Shiba, when we talk about something like that, you're either averaging up or down, depending on which way the market's moving. But overall, you're trying to get basically an overall average as low as humanly possible. But when we talk about doing that, it's because we believe in the value proposition of the asset. So if you see the value prop in Shiba, then what are you doing? I mean, it's cheap right now. I mean, well, we'll see. We'll see what it does this next run. But I question anything that gets pushed to people so hard, so fast, that initially has no fundamental value until they show me otherwise. And Shiba has started to show otherwise, and people are valuing it because it's over a $4 billion market cap. So it will be tradable in the trading competition in trading wars, because anything over a $2 billion market cap will be tradable. Let me look at that. So on let's see here. On Trading Wars, we're going to be able to go all the way down to right here. All right. So as of right now, right, it looks like as we have it set, and we could maybe change this to 1.5 billion, but the plan is 2 billion. Down to about number 30. So like you can trade, or number 29. So you'd be able to trade like the top 29 coins: ETH Classic, BUSD, Uniswap, Cosmos, OKB, Monero, Stellar, Avalanche, Unis, True USD, Chainlink, Bitcoin Cash, Shiba, Wrapped Bitcoin, Litecoin, Polygon, Polkadot, DAI, Toncoin, Tron, Solana, Dogecoin, Cardano, USDC. I don't know why you'd trade a stable coin. I think I've said actually more than one already. BNB, Ethereum, and Bitcoin. As we have it set right now, you're going to be able to trade all of those to try to beat the best in the game. So good luck to you guys. We're going to have fun with that. We'll keep our eye on Shiba, though, because a lot of people do have it. Drop a 1 in the chat if you hold any Shiba. Drop a 2 if you don't. No hate either way. I'm just curious in the chat. Do you actually drop a 1 if you hold it? Drop a 2 if you don't hold it. Drop a 3 if you plan to hold it. So 1 if you hold Shiba, 2 if you don't, 3 if you plan to hold it. Okay? Drop that in the chat. I'd like to see. Crypto Stevo doesn't hold any Shiba. A lot of people did make some good money on it. So like, hey, they might be 90% down now, but that's just because they held thinking that it was going to that penny or whatever number was promised to them, and it did not do so. But a lot of us held through a crashing market, including myself. Darren Does Things said 4. did hold and sold at the top. Hold on, Darren. So I want to ask this, Darren or Darren Duran. Sorry if I messed that up. I did hold and sold at the top. Okay, so check this out. I have talked about this before with Shiba, but I have a TikTok that is literally within the day. I call the top the night before. It was the evening before the very top. I called the top on Shiba. I've admitted before, I'll admit it again. Was it a stroke of luck on one hand? Yeah, it definitely was. But I was right about it. So I'd be interested to see, bro, like, did you know what? I know what it was now, bro. You saw my TikTok and you were like, keepers calling the top, I'm out. And I appreciate you for that. So I just want to throw that out there. Darren does things following keepers, not financial advice. Beautiful, bro. That one played beautifully. Hopefully you made a bunch of money. All right, let's keep it moving. Let's talk about some mining. Now, this is interesting because I can't give you all the information here, but what I'm about to pull up, this is not going to be boring. This is actually pretty interesting. We are in the Bitcoin mining space, myself and Crusader, and we have some investors. We have a Bitcoin mining farm down in Paraguay. And we have somebody that we're working with that had this just novel idea that he's been working on. And I can't throw out any information, but let me just tell you, it's effectively what I'm about to talk about. So you can now, check this out, trade Bitcoin mining hash power on Arbitrum. It says the Lumerum hash power marketplace creates a novel method for decentralizing Bitcoin's global hash rate and makes mining accessible to retail investors. I'm going to explain this, so don't worry if you don't understand. I'm about to explain it. A new Arbitrum protocol makes it possible to directly mine Bitcoin without having to run your own expensive ASIC machines. Lumerin, a decentralized data stream routing project, has turned Bitcoin hash power into tradable liquid asset that can be bought and sold in a peer-to-peer marketplace using smart contracts. All right, let me explain this for the layman or the laywoman. Those are the only two options, by the way. Layman, laywoman. Okay. Reading between the lines on that. And you're never going to change my mind. But I love you guys no matter what you claim to be. All right, sorry. That was my little side jab at the political left just because I felt like it. All right, cool. So check this out. Trading hash power. I shouldn't do that. Trading hash power. The idea behind, okay, the mining machines are incredibly expensive. They are, okay? That you, to be able to create the hash power that people want to be able to really be pulling in money, it costs, it costs a lot of money, right? Hundreds of thousands, millions, depending on how many machines that you're buying, how much access to power you have. You can mine, small amounts with, 5, 10 grand, 15 grand, 20 grand, 30 grand, 40 grand, whatever, but it's going to be a small amount. And it's going to take, some time to be able to amass what most people would feel like it's going to take you a while to amass, let's just even say 1 Bitcoin with less than 50 grand. All right. So why is this cool? Well, this is pretty cool because what it allows people to do is not have to pay for the machines. And what they're effectively doing is they're going onto the site where, okay, so let's just use Crusader and I as an example. We have our machines down in Paraguay. And let's say we put them, we put them onto this, or with the hash power that we provide from all of our machines, let's say we put them onto this network. And what people can do is they can reach out, and I get to set the prices, right? I get to set, hey, how much hash power? It says later on the article, I can set how much hash power am I selling? What am I selling it for? And how long am I guaranteeing that they can have it? So I can basically sell little parts of my mining power. So like I said, I'd explain it for the layman. What it does is all of the mining power that allows me to mine Bitcoin put together, I'm basically able to tokenize it, right? I'm able to take little parts and sell them as smart contracts for a certain amount of time. And then people are able to, without having to spend all the money on the mining machines, be able to buy up the mining. You're able to receive a bunch of the benefits of mining Bitcoin without actually owning the property, without actually owning the setup, without actually owning the machines, without actually having people on site 24/7 to make sure the uptime is like all of the things that need to happen. Those don't need to happen. You just jump on the platform and you say, yeah, I want to buy X amount of hash power. Oh, here's a deal. Boom, bam, slam, smart contract executed. Let's go. And they're able to buy and effectively start mining Bitcoin. It's a genius idea. Friend of ours, I don't know if he had the idea before this, but this information definitely wasn't out. I actually called him when I read this article. I said, bro, you need to read this article. And I shot it over to him. But yeah, I think it's a genius idea. The other thing is the platform, I guarantee you, the platform is charging a transaction fee, right? There's going to be fees incurred. So the platform will probably do really well also. And again, it allows people to actively participate in mining without owning all these machines. At its core, that's what's happening here. So I think it's a really cool idea. I think you're going to see more and more of this. A good friend of ours has got a heck of a platform that you guys will be supporting for sure. Shout out, you know who you are. I don't think you're in here because you're in the middle of doing something right now, but you know who you are. We support you, and I know that it's going to do really well, and it is definitely similar to this. Liberty Interest. Let me see what this says. $5 super chat. Thank you for the super chat. He said, here, you're awesome. Appreciate the channel. Bitcoin solves every problem we have today. Liberty and Trust. Thank you very much for the super chat. Appreciate you for sure. And I agree. I think Bitcoin solves the money problem, right? It might not be the fastest. It might not be the newest, greatest tech. But the reality is the way that it's set up gives intrinsic value. It makes it hard money. You can't add tokens to it. Works. It is digital gold. And there's never going to be more than 21 million. That's a beautiful thing. As I've said a million times, value is just what two or more people agree upon. Well, guess what? There's a lot of people that agree that Bitcoin has value, as you can see in a $26,000 plus price, right? Iram says, I'm glad I made it. Glad that you made it too. Hey, listen, smash the like if you haven't already. Smash the like for Bitcoin. Smash the like for Debate Crypto. We just hit 10K subs. Listen, just smash that like and make sure that you are subscribed and have the bell notification on. And a reminder, Trading Wars is coming up. 5-on-5 teams of traders have an hour to trade. You guys get to trade against them 24/7 to try to beat them over the course of a month to win some big money off of the exchange that we are partnering with. So we'll be announcing that here shortly. God, if you can't tell, your boy's excited because we're about to have the best show on YouTube. I'm telling you right now, we're about to have the best freaking trading show, the best crypto show on YouTube. Everybody has been, every person we have put this in front of is like, hell yes. We had the exchanges fighting over this idea, and we ultimately went with who we trusted the most. It wasn't, listen, the money was a nice perk, but we didn't just pick the person that gave us the most money, the exchange that gave us the most money, because that actually was not who we chose. We chose who we trusted, who we had personal relationships with through one of the traders specifically. And so we're excited to be working with this exchange as well. So we'll be announcing that and giving out our information. So we also I want to throw out one more thing about that, and then we'll dive into the Gary Gensler stuff. Okay. So check this out. This is a long-term vision. Okay. So everybody hear me again. Long-term vision. Conversation Crusader and I had yesterday. We want to be able to set up fantasy teams off of Trading Wars. You heard me right. We want you. So maybe you're not a trader, right? But you get to pick your fantasy team, right? We would have the platform set up effectively, dashboards for this or whatever. But you would get to pick your fantasy team of traders that are trading on our show, right? Put that team of 5 together, and then everybody that doesn't effectively want to trade can jump in, pay whatever it is to be a member of the fantasy, to be a member of the fantasy league, and then we can do that too. So we've got some ideas that are just going to be epic, but we're going to start off just doing the live trading, allowing you guys to participate and compete against them to win some money, have a lot of fun with it, make sure that it does well and succeeds, and then we'll continue to press forward. We don't want to do too much all at once, but that's coming. So smash the like if you haven't already for that, because I'm telling you, that's a great freaking idea. It'll be a lot of fun. Drop a 1 in the chat if you love the Trading Wars idea. Drop a 2, or actually drop a 1 if you love the idea, and you're going to participate. That's what I want to see. Drop a 1 if you love the idea and that you're going to participate. You're going to jump in, throw your own money in, and you're going to try to compete against these traders to win some money and have some fun. Drop that. Again, we're giving you guys 24/7 to trade against their only 1 hour. I think that gives you guys a specific, edge where they have the edge of trading together and obviously, being professionals in the field. So they should do well anyway. So looks like IRAM's jumping in. Darren Does Things says he's jumping in. It's going to be Crunk is going to be jumping in. Yeah, it's going to be dope, guys. I'm telling you. Like you won't hear me stop talking about it because I'm freaking more pumped up about this than anything we've done on the show. So make sure you stick around. Joe, mom, my mom is going to be trading. Good Lord. If my mom was trading, it's a problem. I don't think she's going to do well. She better be copy trading. Let me just throw that out there. I love you guys for sure. Patriot Caveman says, so the writer's strike just ended. They lost 148 days of pay for a 5% increase in pay. Basically, they're dumber than I thought. Oh my gosh. Dude, that's funny. But hold on. Patriot Caveman, right? I know what you're thinking. You're equating the 5%, right, to, hey, they had almost 6 months, right? Like 50% of a year for a 5% pay increase. But just to throw it out there, if they all got a 5% pay increase, right, depending on what that looks like, it could be 5% on some royalty deals. It could be 5%, a lot more than just the salary, or whatever it is that they're making. But also you got to think kind of exponentially pushed out. Is it 5%? Now you push that over the course of 4, 5, 10, 15 years, it might make a big difference. But yeah, for now, 5%. Yay. It only took us half the year, 50% of my money to win 5% back, at least for this year. Definitely. Darren Does Things says, what is the minimum buy-in or deposit for Trading Wars? I don't know the answer for what the minimum is. I'll have to find that out. We hadn't really talked about that. Obviously, you can put as much as you want, but the minimum. I mean, I think just throwing this out there, this is just an idea coming from me because I've traded enough. I know this. I think you probably won't want to do it with less than $100. That's my guess. But we're not going to have some crazy minimum like where you got to put $1,000 because the traders are each trading with $1,000 or something like. No. And you can leverage it. And the reality is, if you even want to put $20, $50, something like that, and do a lower number like that because you just want to participate, it's still hard to make. Listen. A 10% gain on $20 is $2, right? But it's still a 10% gain. We're doing percentage P&L on it, okay? It's the only right way to do it because if we do the amount of money, then somebody's like, well, I can win that. I'll just toss in 100K and, I'll gain 10%. You know what I mean? Like, we're not going to do that. It'll be percentage P&L. So if you want to do it with a small amount of money, cool. If you want to do it with a large amount of money, cool. However you're comfortable doing that, that's totally up to you. I don't think that there's going to be an actual minimum. Okay. So just want to throw that out there. So Psychedelic Astronaut said, I'm late. Start from the beginning. Okay. Let me start over for you, brother. Question everything. No. Okay. I'm definitely not going to do that. But you've missed a good show so far. So we love you for being here. Glad that you're here. Candle Daddy says he's going $1 to $100. Bro, Candle Daddy, if you can turn $1 into $100, that would be tough. That would be really tough. Not to mention just the ability, there's obviously fees involved, right? I mean, they're nothing crazy, but you're going to have to leverage to do that, right? So now you're playing leverage with $1. If the exchange even lets you do that, I don't even know if you can leverage $1. I have no freaking idea. But $1 to 100, bro, get it. If you 100x anything, get it. Good luck. All right, guys, the moment you've been waiting for. I'm going to read the article, touch on it. Then I've got 3 videos. They're about a total of maybe 4 minutes long, I think, 4.5 minutes long, something like that. Total, not each one. And then I'm going to really weigh in on this. Okay. Give me 1 second here. Let me pull up the article first. We'll start there. U.S. lawmakers call on SEC chair to approve spot Bitcoin ETFs immediately. The members of the House Financial Services Committee are expected to question Gary Gensler during a September 27th hearing on SEC oversight. Here's all the brainchilds right now talking over the ETF. 4 members of the United States Congress are requesting SEC Commissioner Chair Gary Gensler to immediately approve the listing of spot Bitcoin ETF. In a September 26 letter to Gensler, U.S. Representatives Mike Wood, Wiley Nickel, Tom Emmer, and Richie Torres claimed the SEC was, quote, discriminating against spot Bitcoin exchange-traded products, citing the legal precedent set by Grayscale Investments in winning a review of its own ETF offering. The 4 lawmakers told Gensler there was no reason to continue to deny spot crypto ETF applications following the Grayscale court decision, which ruled the SEC's reasoning was, quote, arbitrary and capricious in having already approved investment vehicles tied to Bitcoin futures. They said a regulated spot Bitcoin ETP would provide increased protection for investors by making access to Bitcoin safer and more transparent. Congress has a duty to ensure the SEC approves investment products that meet the requirements set out by Congress. One more thing. Lawmakers added, we urge you to approve the listing of spot Bitcoin ETPs, which is a spot Bitcoin ETF, immediately. All right, I'm going to weigh in on this in a minute, but I want to play these for you, okay? Let me pull this up. All right, we're going to start with this one.
Your view on Bitcoin, you've made comments on this. You believe Bitcoin is not a security. Is that true?
Well, I think the staff of the SEC have also, and the prior chair.
I'm just asking you this question, and this is not a gotcha. I thought there's going to be an easy softball into harder questions. Do you think Bitcoin is a security?
No, I think I've said this in the past that I think that it doesn't
I'm asking
meet
you
the
to
Howey
answer
test.
my question
Answer
now.
the question,
this is
Gary.
not supposed to be hard.
I know. I said it
Just
does
answer-
not meet the Howey test, which is the
Okay.
law of the land about being an
So
investment
it doesn't meet the
contract
Howey
or
test.
security.
So therefore, it's a commodity. Is that fair?
I would say it's not a security, and then the test is otherwise for other
Okay.
laws.
But your view on Bitcoin,
Okay.
you've
So that's the first one, right? I'm going to do this one last. Now let's play this one. Check this out. So they roasted him. Listen, he's not even willing to answer the question as to whether Bitcoin is or isn't a security when the SEC has already commented on that. You see how he even tried to skirt that? This man is something else, right? Wait till you see this third video, but this one's good too.
You're pushing a woke political and social agenda, and I think abusing your role in the authority of the SEC
Yes, sir.
as cover. So, I think fundamentally the SEC Stabilization Act would remove the role of chairman. It would preserve the current commissioners, but it would add a sixth commissioner. So there would be no more than 3 from any one political party. And so that would provide a path that would make the SEC do what you're avoiding. Frankly, you're front-running Congress, you're front-running the courts, you're front-running even the own administration, and no one has held you to account for that.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I wish the Biden administration would say you're fired.
Fire you.
But the list of folks they need to do that for is long. Congress hopefully will with the SEC Stabilization Act. I yield.
The list of people that need to be fired by the Biden administration is long. I would agree with that. Now, this last one's 3 minutes long, so stand by. I want to comment on all this, but this is epic. Pay attention.
Do you believe the vast majority of digital assets meet the investment contract test and are therefore securities operating illegally outside of the U.S. regulatory umbrella?
As I've said, many of these assets are basically the public is anticipating
Sir, is
profits
that a
based
yes?
on the efforts of others.
Is the answer then yes?
Again, without prejudging anyone, I do think that the significant
Reclaiming my
majority
time.
are
I'll take it as a
investment
yes. And to be
contracts.
clear, sir, this perspective has nothing to do with a concern you noted in a speech last year where you said, quote, over the past year, several bank executives have shared their concerns with me about the sheer number of depositors who have moved money from their bank accounts into crypto-related exchanges and wallets, end quote, right?
The concern that those bank executives raised was that there's
Again, I'm
those
reclaiming my time,
customers were
sir.
getting
No,
hurt.
I've asked you to answer the questions as short as I can so I can use the time I have. And
Answer
it's
the
clear
damn
that you
question.
would like to avoid answering the questions, in my opinion. An Obama-appointed judge in the Southern District of New York, a bank-friendly jurisdiction where you bring most of your cases, recently found that decentralized financial technology,
Listen to
quote,
this.
not only removes the so-called middlemen from these transactions, but it also allows users to interact through a variety of methods in an easy and efficient manner, end quote. The court also said underwriters, like the ones at banks where you work, sir, are, quote, precisely the types of individual roles that decentralized exchanges were designed to eliminate, end quote. Mr. Gensler, can you assure this committee that your style of regulation by harassment towards digital asset innovation is to the benefit of every American and not driven by your desires to protect industry incumbents?
This is a field that's rife with fraud and manipulation, and I'm looking out for the American investors who've been hurt by the crypto.
It's about one
I'll
more.
reclaim my
fraudsters
time.
and
Mr.
scammers.
Gensler, despite your years of rhetoric, like today, I'm convinced you are not an impartial regulator. Instead, it's clear that you are working to consolidate your own power, even though it means crushing opportunities for everyday Americans and, frankly, the financial future of this country. Even the federal courts are highlighting the damage you, sir, are doing to our constituents, and they're telling you that you don't have the legal authority to accomplish your goal of squashing competition in the financial markets. Congress has been telling you that too. Now, Mr. Gensler, I believe our great financial system is the definition of freedom in this country. And congressional policies must provide room for the traditional financial system to evolve alongside the disruptive digital asset ecosystem. That said, it cannot be understated that a common theme throughout your career, sir, is your relentless loyalty to the largest financial institutions at the clear expense of innovation, competition, and everyday Americans. I yield back.
Wow. All right. There was a lot happening there, but let's just dive into kind of the hot topics. Didn't want to answer whether Bitcoin was indeed a security, even though the SEC has already voiced that, right? He wanted to basically skirt around it. And actually, when he finally said yes, and he said, so it's a commodity, he said, well, no, it just doesn't pass the Howey test. So he does not want to give up his ability to have the power over these markets. So you have to ask yourself, why? Well, let me tell you why. The same reason these crooked politicians do the things that they do, the same reason that we have the issues that we have with the Fed, the same reason that we have things and problems with the IRS. Guess what? Drum roll, please. Money and power, right? So the power part of this puts Gary Gensler in a position to financially pad the pockets of all of his freaking cronies at the banks. Okay. That's just a fact. He has a lot of friends in the traditional finance space that absolutely, in one of the things I saw, he said, he asks him, or he alludes to, or he talks about how effectively he had said previously, and I forget what video it was in, he had said previously how Bitcoin and crypto, how these banks were worried about the massive amount of money that was coming out of their institutions and going on to crypto exchanges. Now, do you think they're really worried about Joe Mama, Crypto Birdie, Candle Daddy, Green Day Profits, Darren Does Things, Crypto Al, and Patriot Caveman, to name a few? Do you think he gives a crap about your money or if you lose money? No. News flash. No. Does he give a crap how much Crypto Keeper loses because he makes one decision or another on a crypto exchange or platform or whatever? News flash. No. What he cares about is exactly the money coming out of the traditional finance system and going into the crypto space. It is, quote, a threat to these banking giants, and they are squirming and don't know what to do. Yesterday, Chase Bank, I did a short on this. I did a TikTok on this as well. Yesterday, Chase Bank in the UK came out and said, as of October 16th, I think, we will no longer be doing crypto transactions. What? You won't be doing what? I will move all of my, I should have already moved all my business accounts out of Chase. They have been the biggest freaking joke. If it wasn't such an inconvenience to me and my family, I would have already done it. But ultimately, why would they do that? This is the future. This is where we're headed. Why would they do that? Well, the only answer is because they want to oust their competition. That's it. Like, this isn't, there's no like math problem that needs solved here. The only math problem that they're solving is how the hell do we get all this money that we were trying to scam out of people back? Because these banks were not giving you a yield on your money. You sit it in the bank, they loan it out to every freaking buddy else at a very nice interest rate, and then they give you 0.01% or 0.1% or whatever the little crumbs that they give you. And now these crypto assets are coming out and saying, hey, listen, these platforms are coming out and saying, hey, listen, like you need to be able to outperform, inflation, if nothing else, or at least try to. We'll give you 4%, we'll give you 5%. Ultimately, to sit it on our platform. Now, are they using the same thesis and moving funds and yeah, listen, that's just how capitalism is going to work, right? You use other people's money to make money. That's a fact. Many people have done that. I've done it. You probably should be doing that. I'm not a financial advisor, not giving financial advice. But that being said, Gary Gensler was a blockchain professor at MIT. He understands the space. I guarantee you he knows the value proposition. And as dumb as he sounds by skirting around every question, I hate to say it, I'd love to give him a pass and just say he's a freaking idiot. He's not. He's really smart. And the reality is he's very smart in a way that allows him to slow this train down for all of his banking crony buddies. That's it. That's it. Period. And stop. Take your money out of the traditional finance system, put it over into crypto. The banks start to get scared. They already don't have enough money. You want to get 10, 20, 30, 50 grand out of the bank, and they say, it's going to be a couple weeks. We got to order it. Fugazi, right? And so they are squirming, and they're using the SEC, and the SEC is using Gary Gensler, or Gary Gensler. The companies are pressing on Gary Gensler. These massive institutions, these banking giants are pressing on Gary Gensler 100%. He gets to play like he's, naive and then skirt around questions and answers the same way the White House does when they ask you questions about Joe Biden or the laptop or anything that's like, we're not. They never answer the question. They don't answer the question because all they're trying to do, it's a stall tactic. Think about if you're in an argument with a person and you ask them these direct questions. You're asking a yes or no question. Like, that's it. Yes or no. Right? I don't need the semantics behind it. I don't need your little side story. Yes or no? It's a simple question. Is it security? Is it not? And he has to give this roundabout answer. No, he's just trying to slow the process down. These ETFs, what they're pushing for in this is for these Bitcoin ETFs to get approved. And I agree with what they're saying. They're saying, hey, listen, Grayscale just set a court precedent saying that your decision to not approve this was arbitrary and capricious. Capricious? I always question if I'm saying that right, but that's the word. And because of that, we already have futures products, but futures products, listen, those help these, financial banking giants that are playing dumb, like they're not in the crypto markets when they are, right? The reality is, folks, the 30-something people that are in here are the smart people in the space. You probably beat some of these financial institutions to the punch as it relates to crypto. Kudos to all of you. It's a bear market. Things are freaking boring, and you're hanging out here with Debate Crypto. You know why? Because we try to bring you the alpha, and we try to bring you a perspective that is something other than just here's the article, here's the information. No, like, I want to try to bring you some thought-provoking ideas. Crusader wants you to think outside the box. That's what we try to press on people. Use your brains. You hear us say every day, question everything, trust nothing. It's not me saying, like, don't trust anything your husband or wife says. Better question all. No, I'm saying use your brain. This does not add up, and there's no reason that this should be continuing to be blocked and slowed down. There's only one reason. They're stalling because of money and power, and we need to take it back. And we, the people, can take it back. I've talked about this before. we can opt into Bitcoin and start opting out of this financial slavery that we are in, that is the US dollar, and the debt structure system that the tax, taxed absolutely out the wazoo crazy system that we have in place. I'm not saying don't pay your taxes, okay? Just to be clear. I'm just saying the way that the system's set up is rigged against you. This is our opportunity to get some power back, to make a change for the financial future. We need it. We need it. So Crypto Fam, I love you guys. I appreciate every one of you for being here. We got so much going on and so much coming up that we're really freaking exciting about. Obviously, trading wars. I mentioned it 3 or 4 times during the show today. Super excited about that. We'll keep you posted of what the exchange is and how you can get involved. And we just plan on continuing to press the barrier of what kind of information you're getting in the crypto space. What ideas are being brought forth from watching our show. We want you to think. We want you to open your brain. We want you to think for yourself, make good decisions for yourself, because we're not going to make them for you. So, yes, it's been a slow day today, but that's okay, because all 30-something people of you, I freaking love you, and I appreciate you for being here. We've got a lot to look forward to. This bull market is coming. The Bitcoin halving is coming. We have a lot of beautiful things coming up in the next couple of years. Be patient. Be patient. Be patient. Have a game plan. Have somebody to hold you accountable. If you do those things, if you have a game plan, somebody to hold you accountable, even those just 2 things, you will succeed. Obviously, I'd probably suggest picking some solid projects. That might be helpful. But you can and will succeed. Continue to watch our show. Continue to smash that like button. Continue to make sure the bell notification stays on. We love you. So just remember, question everything, trust nothing. And until next time, hodl like it's hot. We will see you soon.